Live from the Boundary, the 2019 South Normanton Cycling Club Awards Night with your host for the evening, Craig Johnson.
So, first thing on the agenda, I'd like to start, introduced our new kit this year. An improvement on the design we've had, made a more modern look. Many different types of aspects that we've gone on. Dale introducing the Aero jersey and the TT jersey that people have been using this year. And like I would say, definitely gives the peloton when we're riding out a really significant look, and people are looking at, and everybody comments on how good we look. So, you know, a really good start to the year. Okay, just try to share some Strava stats with you. I'm not very technically minded, but I just thought I'd try and find these out. So, I took the top 20 riders this year, and I worked out that they'd done over 100,000 miles between them. And then considering that and how many people we've got in the club, that makes us about 500,000 miles that we've done as a club together. So trying to work that out, that basically takes us to the moon, around the moon and back as a joint of a club all together. Elevation, again, I took the top 20 elevation of people this year. Obviously, I'll go back to the other one. One person has done 11,000 miles, which is incredible, considering what I've done this year. Elevation, getting top 20 riders, 7 million feet between the top 20, estimating that we've probably done around 50 million as a group. And I've kind of tried to work it out. That's 14 ascents to the International Space Station between us, which I think is an incredible achievement. So, well done, everybody. Okay, so I'm going to go through the reviews this year. A lot of different people have done a lot of different events that people don't know about. I didn't know about when putting this together, and it staggered me how many and how much people have actually done. So, what I'll do first, get rid of me already, hand the mic over to Mr. Wilson. He's going to take you through the Steady Group review.
All right, Bruce. Public speaking's definitely not my forte, so it's going to be brief. The only reason it's 2 sides of A4 is because I've blown it up big enough so I can read it without my glasses on. So, talking about the Steady Group, we may not be able to list a host of landmark achievements for our group's riders, like the faster groups, but this part of the club has a different purpose. This group is most often the one where people have their very first experience of club riding, their first experience of South Normanton Cycling Club, and as such, I feel it's a very important part of the club. On the Steadies rides, we have a group of people who don't in the main ride to push themselves to the absolute limit, or to become strong enough to take part in an ETAP or an Ironman, though some do. On the whole, the majority ride, yes, for their own fitness goals, but just as importantly, for the joy of riding, for the company, to introduce new riders to the joy of cycling, to experience the quiet Derbyshire lanes, and probably most importantly, for the coffee and cake. You know, that slide popped up just right then. That was just on cue, amazing. Right, the Steady Group continues to develop and attract a substantial number of riders, with this year regularly seeing turnouts of 15 to 20 plus, which has caused some headaches at cafe stops at times. A further development for the group this year, due to some Steadies riders now being either retired, working shifts or working part-time, is that both Tracy and Sandra have been organising regular small group rides on an informal basis, enabling those lucky so-and-sos not at work on some days during the week to ride in good company and consume even more coffee and cake. As to being called the Steadies Group, everything is relative. Having ridden with the club for the last 3 or 4 years, and ridden with many other groups, including the CTC, for many years before that, I can say that we might be known as the Steady Group, but compared to many out there on their bikes, we're not that steady. Indeed, fitness levels have increased overall, gradually, to the extent that some rides in the past year have been almost as fast as the Inters rides would have been on previous years. It's always difficult to pick out individual riders, as many in our group are now riding much stronger. But I'd actually like to start by thanking all the regulars in our group just for being a really smashing group of people to be out riding with. However, I would like to pick out a few people. I hope they don't mind. Liz Saxton, having only taken up cycling seriously very recently and joining us over the summer, Liz has come on in leaps and bounds and is now riding really strongly and is already challenging herself by taking part in competitive events. I'm sure she'll be riding with the fast group pretty soon. Shane, who only started with us in the last year or so, but is now riding so strongly that he's recently become part of a small, faster than the steady splinter group. I'd like to also give a really special mention for the steady group's official cameraman, Bruce Turner. Bruce uses his camera to document every stage of every group ride that the group takes part in. And then he spends loads and loads of time, his own time, uploading to Strava and Facebook, so there's lots of smiling or grimacing faces of SNCC riders everywhere. He's also prepared this slideshow for us tonight. So thank you, Bruce. I don't know what we'd do without you. Thank you. I'd like to thank somebody I don't think is here tonight. I understand he had a bit of an accident here and I hope he's okay. I'd like to thank Kevin Dawes. Kev doesn't ride with the Steadies group very often and he certainly doesn't need to. But when he does, he can usually be seen riding up and down the same hill 6 times to pace less experienced riders up and down the route. So, and we really, really appreciate it. Giving great moral support. So thank you, Kev. I'd also like to mention Barry Hooley. He thought he got away with it. Yay! Having recently retired, Barry has gone in 18 months or so from struggling to keep up and by his own ambition, practically collapsing at the top of every hill, to becoming a really strong and consistent rider in the group. As his love of cycling has developed over this relatively short period of time, he has dived in at the deep end and challenged himself to complete a number of serious climbs in mainland France and Gran Canaria. I hope Barry doesn't mind me saying that he is a great example of how taking up cycling in our later years can have a really, really positive effect both on our physical fitness and our overall well-being. Well done, Barry. I told you it wouldn't be a long one. I'd just like to finish by saying there's at a time when so many people are spending most of their leisure time sat on their sofas, people from all riding groups in our club are maintaining a high level of fitness by cycling thousands and thousands of miles every year. Having somewhere where you can make friends while spending time exercising with like-minded people, whatever level you cycle at, is a big motivator for a lot of people in our club. Everywhere you go, it seems you pass or get passed by someone in South Normanton Club kit. And I don't think it's an overstatement to say that the club has grown to become a very important part of the local community. And I think that's something we should all be proud of. Thank you.
Thank you, mate. Fantastic review there, thank you very much. Definitely a candidate to take over next year. What I like about this group, they seem to be quite very diverse. They move from the steadies up to their own group, and then we've also got people wanting to move up in tracing, in main group and stuff like that. I know they're very, social. They They are a friendly group. I've been out a few times where I've maybe had a few to drink or something like that and drop back onto them, and made me more than welcome. And it's great to see that a lot of those riders have actually pushing themselves and say, oh well, we'll go out with the main group for a bit. We'll try and hang on, and then they do, and benefits come from it all the time. So a lot of respect for a lot of those riders, and there's some fantastic, just looking at those people there, we all know them, faces all over the club, great group, and it's growing all the time. Very quickly, the main group, I'll just do a very quick aspect of these, because a lot of these people will come up throughout the night. Another incredible year, some fantastic routes that Dale has sent us on throughout the year. And the best thing about this is we've established some new members to the group in the respect of, they've been on the scenes, but they've really established themselves on Wednesdays and Saturdays or Sundays. Mention out to Chris White, Barry, Dave Blount, Tom, Andy, Adam, Lee, and especially Ben, who has been basically new to the club this year. All of those lads have stepped up, come in, and they're improving every week. Every week I sit there and I'm sat on Barry's wheel going down bloody A6 and I think, Jesus, wet Barry, when are you going to give up? You know what I mean? You're coming through on chain gang like a bloody steamroller. I'm supposed to follow this wheel at some point. So, again, the members of the group have gone on and done some unbelievable things this year, which we'll go over in the night. So I won't go on them, but, we've got a real good camaraderie, a real strong group up there. Anybody who wants to come and ride with us are welcome, They'll make you suffer, but you are welcome to try and come and have a go with the main group at any point. Okay, one thing that I said to Dale, I need to do. I need to review the female riders this year, because what an incredible year that they've had. Every time I put Strava on, there's another mind-blowing ride that some of these ladies have done. And when you see the slides, it paints a picture itself. Bev, I don't know if Bev's in tonight, but probably not, but Bev, Morat Sportif, okay, 16,000 feet of climbing, done the epic. I think she did it back-to-back weekends. Ride Derbyshire, statistics, nearly 5,000 miles. Ascending, nearly 500,000 feet. 400 hours of cycling. Kate, who you will see a number of times this week, completed the Etap. Finished 8,000 at 16,000. I think that deserves a kind of clap in itself. Epic tour. And then she went over to France and decided to take part in a bloody hill climb. And came fourth, which is fantastic in the female, just polled up one day and I'll go and do it. Again, 4,500 miles. What a year she's had. Nancy, 3 ascents of Mont Ventoux. All right, that deserves a round of applause or what? Worked it out, I think it was 42 miles of climbing, which is unbelievable. Again, went and completed the Etap, finished 8,300 and so, unbelievable. Tora Peak, 5,000 miles, again, 371,000 feet climbing, unbelievable. Absolutely quality. Karen, I don't know if Karen is here, I don't know if I've seen her. Well done, Karen, she's over there. Not only is she an amazing rider, she's also an unbelievably nice person as well. I've rode with her a number of times and she's absolutely quality. Again, Etap, 8,000. Okay, 433. That deserves a round of applause, please. Taking part in the Mansfield Red, Derbyshire Spring Classic and stuff like that. Again, another 4,300 miles. Unbelievable. Sally Hughes. Seen her over there somewhere. What a year this lady's had. Not only does she do about every triathlon going, but again, attempt the Etap. She comes 6,700 and so. That's unbelievable. Massive round of applause. I've put in there the triathlon, but we'll come in respect to that later on. You know, Staffordshire Iron Man, or Iron Lady as they should probably call it. 5 hours and 47, unbelievable. Ironman Wales in 13 hours or so. Hopefully I got that right. I've had that many statistics this week. And again, 5,000 miles as a cyclist, you know, brilliant. And then our newbie, where is she? There she is. Dan Shining Light. We all know her through Facebook and Strava, just through the photos. Never spoke to myself, but there she is. So, only been riding seriously from the springtime. Okay, and what progress? So Dan decides to tie her up to a tap. Yeah, and she gave a good bloody account of herself as well. And I don't think if it was the broom wagon, she'd have probably completed it anyway. But, you know, she completed 66 miles of the Etap, and she's only been riding since the spring, and she's done nearly 10,000 feet, or 9,000 feet, sorry. So, you know, absolute fantastic effort. What about that, you know? Round of applause. And then every week I look on Strava, she's done some kind of duathlon or triathlon or something, you know, unbelievable. So, absolutely fantastic. So, she's going to go places this year, absolutely, for the next year. Okay, just going to go through a quick review of what people have done this year. So that was the females. Right, race review. Dean Eason. You know, not really his year in racing this year in the respective, you know, what was it, 3 races, 3 crashes. He tried, lad did, he tried. Oh. But fortunately, he did a lot of work for other people this year in racing. And I think if anyone tells you one of the strongest riders, and you just know when you're on anything that's flat, you'll see Dean coming through, and it's like, oh God, don't bother Dean, just back off. But we'll hear more about Dean later on, as had many other achievements. Stellar year for Matt Bagshaw, last year's winner. Participated in a number of rides this year, accumulated a number of points. Standout performances being 3rd in the York race, crit race, and 10th in the Dave Rayner road race. Okay, so, but 3rd in the York race, God knows how many people, so can we have a round of applause, please, there? Unbelievable. The stress that this lad puts himself through in those races. James Doxey, I don't know if he's here tonight, I've not seen him, usually staggering at bar somewhere. Another strong year from James, apart from the tireless effort on the front and stuff like that. 4th in the crit, scored points in the Lichfield crit, and achieved a 3rd in his first category race, which is, you know, fantastic. And I think I forgot to mention there as well, Matt has also moved up to category 3 as well. So, fun, you know, really positive efforts on the racing scene. Alex, is he in today? I think I've seen him. Alex, well done. Alex participated in his first ever race season. Well, he said that to me, so I've put it in. Scored some fun. Laugh on cue, thank you. Scored some fantastic results. Learning how to race efficiently and smartly. I think he would probably say that this year. Harvey had in 13th place in his first ever race. And also 11th in the York crit and Lichfield race 11th. And a 6th and 11th. So, you know, for a first person this year, there are some staggering results. Next year can only be better. James, the picture sells itself there. You know, it's put everything in there. This year, James has had a 5th and a 4th, a 4th and a 2nd, and he continues to improve in every you know, discipline that he does, James. So well done. Back to Kate. She's done her first ever race. I think she's done a lot of first evers this year, and obviously fantastic. Huge achievement that she's been out there racing in the respect of in certain things, you know. I know in the past, Kate, you've, you know, had a little bit nervous riding in groups and stuff like that, but then to go and race is, you know, it's a different story. So well done on that one. And she's secured a 14th and an 8th position in a race, which is really good. Tom De Janeiro, where is he? He's over there. I don't think there's been an event this year that Tom's not actually entered. He's thumbed up and, yeah. Did he finish?
3 laps. I finished 1.
How many with the peloton? But he stands up and he comes forward and, you know, he's a lot braver than what I am. And he comes up and he gives it a go. People force him into it and encourage him and he comes up and does it. So, you know, not man for a lad that we're getting dropped on Fast Fridays to then step up and say, well, I'll go and race. I'll go and race for the club. Yeah, no problem. I'll put my time and effort into it. And he's done that. And again, if he's improving and improving, so, you know, next year, look out for that name. Dan the Man is another man who is doing everything, and you'll see him a number of times on here tonight. Took part in a few races this year. Apparently out-sprinted Dean Easton at one point, which is unbelievable. Pat, who's not here tonight, participates in a number of races. I don't think, you know, he placed in a number of those, but he did do an awful lot of work for other people, which is great. A team race review. So as you can see, the faces on there, common faces that we know we're racing. Unbelievable amount of firepower on a number of events this year. The Mansfield Crit, I think we had 7 riders in the top 20. As you know, that's quite a big race that a lot of people do. Spring Sportif, we had a number of people doing that, and I think we finished as a group, maybe something like 2nd or something like that out of the whole lot, which was a team race. And again, 3rd, someone's telling me, well, that's fine, misinformation. But again, great camaraderie, okay, great camaraderie. Individual time trials. Alan Sutcliffe, is Alan here tonight? There he is. Easily the best picture of the night, I think. Yeah, it tells the story, that one. So Alan completed a 50-mile individual time trial in 1 minute 53. And I averaged 20... Was that right? 1 hour and 23. 1 hour and 53. Sorry, I'm trying to make you look good there. Really good. So he averaged 26 mile an hour, which is phenomenal. For an individual time trial. Over 50 miles. Come on. You shouldn't need me to prompt you on these applauses, guys. Dan Ward participated in the Lincolnshire Road Race Associated 30-mile individual time trial. 30-mile, 1 hour and 9 minutes. Averaged 330 watts for that time. And again, 26 mile an hour average again. Bagshaw's always got to come up and do it better though, hasn't he? Yeah? Yeah. Took part in the Matlock individual time trial, Matt. Came 2nd overall. Averaged 27 mile an hour. Yeah. Just got over 10 miles. Got to do it better, hasn't he, in some way. Dean actually won a time trial. He assures me there was hardly anybody in the actual time trial. But he won one. And he averaged 27 mile an hour as well, I believe, and he took the victory there, so well done on that one, matey. Nice to get a victory up there. Other notable TTs this year, again, Tom's up there again. Finish that one, Tom? Yeah, good lad. Saxby? Not even turned up, so we'll move on. So, team time trial. So this took then over 100 miles. And again, over the 100 miles, they averaged 23 miles an hour, touching 24. 2nd behind a team that I was told consisted of very seasoned riders and also maybe odd professional here and there. And it's first time they've taken part in this, and I don't think it'll be the last time. So to finish 2nd in the team, time trial deserves a round of applause. I think. Thank you. I'll not go through these because obviously I want to get to the intermediate break and stuff like that. People have food and stuff like that, and then we'll get on with the end. But the hill climbing has been another fantastic year. You can see a number of events up there. Pat, 3rd overall, a 9th, a 7th in the bowls over, 19th overall in the Hardwick climb, which is, how many people do it? I think it was 80 riders this year, which is fantastic. 11th in Snake Pass, which I think is a fantastic accomplishment. 48th on the Monsell, probably about 200 plus that do that. And 18th overall in the Beeley, and he was the first veteran for the win. So I know he's not here, I don't think, but I think that does deserve a round of applause to win the veteran. James is also not here, but he's had a fantastic year as a veteran. He's accumulated a fourth, a second, a fourth, a fifth, and a fifth. Again, fifth veteran at Snake Pass. Chris White, who stepped up this year. He shows me that he liked it, but he wants to have done on today's performance. But a 33rd place on the Ryber Hill climb, again a very highly attended competition, and he's done himself proud. But I actually questioned him today on the 13th on Holly Lane. I think that's incredible. So massive, for his first season of hill climbing. 13th on Holly Hill. He says he's never doing it again, but I bet he's back. Tom. I had to get that photo on, just don't know what he was doing in his car, and now he's got time to do that, or whatever it was. But the model, Tom Gennaro, again, first hill climb this season. Overall, respectively, he finished 44 out of 77 on the Hardwick climb, getting up sub 2 minutes, which I think is a great accomplishment, so I'd please give him a round of applause. It's not hard to do. A sub 2 minutes. Mannering, new to the club, well done Ben. He's come in, he's just missed out by 2 seconds on his first hill climb for us. He stripped everything back on bike. I'm surprised it had wheels on it for when it went by. And again, Dan just tests himself, doesn't he? Dan, 47th on Beeley. I'll come represent the club and I'll be there and I'll do what I can. Okay, so absolutely brilliant. We'll move on to the triathlon review. I promise you we're nearly at the break. Sally, we've gone through some of these. Ironman Wales. She finished 10th in her age group. "13 hours and 23 minutes. I can't imagine doing something like that. Dan, Outlaw Half, finished the 49th overall, with the 6th fastest bike split. Well, what did we expect anything different, mate? Come on, why aren't you first? Come on. Next year, target. 3rd in the Culford Triathlon, and then finished 163rd in the Ironman Wales with 11 hours and 26 minutes. I don't mean to be funny, but 63rd is an accomplishment in itself. And then he's obviously had a 4th there in the Statham Dualthon. Mr. Simpson. Well, you look at that picture and it just tells a story, doesn't it? What is Matt doing there? Okay, so he decided, if you don't know what a triple brutal is, well, we might cover it a little bit later on, but basically he just destroyed himself for 3 days, from what I gather, and he's still suffering from it now. So we'll move on to a little bit more about him later on. A new member to the triathlon gang. I don't know if Darren's here. Is Darren here today? Oh, there he is. There he is. How's Canyon going? All right. Good man. So Darren completed his first Ironman. So, we'll not do anything short. We'll just go and do Ironman Wales. And he completed it in 14 hours and 17 minutes. Incredible achievement for your first Ironman. Just stepping up to do that is ridiculous. There's Mr. Tex himself, Mr. Easton. I had to get you at least one on, mate, because that's all I see on my Facebook feed every 5 minutes. You've been on holiday? Yeah. Okay, so it's been a busy year for him. He's had more success in that than he has in his racing. So, sprint triathlons and smaller triathlons, or whatever you call them, I'm not a man of knowledge, but I know, that he's gone and second veteran in the Bliffield Sprint, the Herald Duathlon, and 3rd overall, Ashbourne Triathlon, 3rd veteran overall, and then the Derby Triathlon, 2nd veteran. A round of applause, please. And there isn't anything that this woman doesn't do. I did say to her in the calf today, I was like, I got sick of doing your bloody slides, and she looked at me and she says, "Oh, I'm sorry." I was like, I didn't mean it badly, you know what I mean? So Kate's back. She took on a brutal decathlon. We're around Snowdon. She took a 15-mile run up and around Snowdon. Up Snowdon and all that? Yeah? I got that right? Yeah, that's fine. And then she did a 116-mile ride around the Snowdon area, which is fantastic. And she finished first. What an athlete. Gary, have I seen him? Is he in? There he is. Sorry for attacking you in the calf today, youth, but I missed you out so you get your own slide. So I couldn't organise it all. So Gary sent me some information today. 5 triathlons this year overall. Finished 33rd in Coventry. Southwell 13th in his age group. Even though he was ill, he managed the 27th in age group in York. 8th in Worksop. Eastlake 12th. And then he's informed me that he's just completed his 100th triathlon and duathlon, which is fantastic, isn't it? 100 of. And again, I've just put it on the end that he's also represented the club on hill climbs, sportives, and stuff like that. So, you know, absolute club man there. Well done. I don't know if Rob is here today, but I found this out from a certain source, secret source, who knows him. Rob I've seen a few times myself. I didn't even know we got a cyclocross participant, but I've put there as a modest man because he's not gone and announced it anywhere. But it's highly complex, it's unbelievably challenging, and this guy has stepped up and taken part in a number of them this year, okay? So he's not here, I don't think, but it's good to see it. And I think it'd be great to see a number of other people maybe take on that discipline next year, because we've got more than enough capable people to have a go at that. Okay, so what we're going to do now is the food is available. You don't have to listen to me anymore. Go stuff yourselves, get another drink. Sorry? Yeah, go get yourself some food. We'll have around 15-20 minutes, then we'll try and get back out. We'll flick through the challenges of this year, what people have faced, and then we'll give out some rewards. Thank you. "24 people went over to do the attack, the tour. As you've seen in the review, different abilities. It didn't matter. It was the event, it was the terrain, it was epic. Some of us were stupid enough to go and climb a mountain the day before, so they could see Mont Blanc and something like that, and it was about 8 mile, 9 mile. It was not much of a warm-up. But great camaraderie, and I suggest that any of you riders out there, it's an event that you need to do. We had some absolute fantastic outcomes. First one, Brent Holmes finished 193rd out of 16,000. 16,000. Baggy still managed to finish it with bloody cramps, so he tells me. Dan, unbelievable, coming down the mountain, Dan shouting at me, "Do you need anything? Do you need anything?" "No, I just want to get to the bloody top, piss off." Dave is not here tonight, another fantastic performance at 6 hours and 45. Sutcliffe, 1,678, an absolute climbing machine or what? You know what I mean? If there's any wheel that you want, there's the man. I'm known because I'm on it enough. Paul Waterhouse started with me in pen 9. Never saw him again after the first 400 yards. He'd gone. But again, another fantastic performance from Paul. A man who was like me at the end, quitting cycling, I don't know. Wayne come by me, smiling at some point, and I was just like, just bug off. You know what I mean? Great at 7 hours and 13. Simpson, supportive man up at the top. As soon as we get in, lads, I'll get you a beer or something like that. Concerned about us because we didn't look too good, but he was always, you know, showing his concern. Mr. Blount, and for me, one of the biggest achievements of the attack, I went into that event thinking, I'm going to smash this, I'm going to smash it. I'm going to be brilliant. And then Dale Lane comes out and pulls out a 3,284th position. By his standards, you know, it's all right, but he'd put a bit of weight on by then and stuff like that. He wasn't riding his best, but he was there and he still beat me by a mile, and I'm just like, seasoned rider or what, so it's a fantastic achievement. Chris White, Carrie, some loser. Liam, who took his part in his first attack. We didn't have to wait too long for him at the bus later on. Said he got last, stuck behind a car crash and all this lot apparently. Simon, I don't know if Simon's here, but I think Froggatt did, for how much training he did for the attack, I think at 9 hours and 6 to finish 6,500, I think Froggatt did a really, really good ride. Then we move on to our unbelievable females. You know, again, Sally, Karen, Nancy, Kate, finished in the 8,000s and stuff like that. Can we just give them another round of applause, please? Quiet down, Tom, you didn't even do it. Okay, and then there was a few other people that came out and took part. They tried their best. It was a hard day. You could probably say preparation, apart from Dan chucking Liz in it. You know, you're going to go into this for your first sportif and stuff like that. Alan didn't feel great on the course. He said that he got a few physical issues and stuff like that, which didn't allow him to do it. Paul was there in a supportive role, so he tells me. No word. And Dave over there, I think Dave, good effort youth from what I gather. Back next year, no? Okay. But what a day, okay? I wanted to quit riding. Brent gets to the top and says, yeah, it's best one for years, that is. Best one for years. All right, Brent. So a few riders there. I want to get a few pictures up there. You know, just look at it and reflect on it. A lot of people went a long way, and it was a very hard ride. And it was a pleasure to be a part of the group that went up there. I'm not going to lie. 2 chalets worth went up there. Camaraderie, supportiveness in both chalets. Unbelievable. So, we come on to the Marmot. Might have pronounced that right, I don't know. Kevin Bev, unfortunately, I don't think are here. And Andy, I've not seen Andy either. But they went over and took one of the most difficult sporties in Europe alongside the attack during the course. And then I didn't actually know what this was all about until I actually looked at the course, and the mountains that they climbed in that day were just epic. The epic icon mountains that these guys have done in a day. You know, 4 mountains, which was the Col de Gawd, the Telegraph, the Galibier, and then finished on the Alpes d'Huez. They each did over 5,000 miles, over 108 miles, which is probably more than what the attack was in all. Bev finished something like 29th in her age group, and then Kev finished 120th in his age group, and Andy finished in the top 3,000 of 8,000. So, come on, folks. I mean, just look at those climbs. They're iconic climbs, all in one event. Fantastic. So, a few other members this year. That is Tracy Lane, by the way. That is one of the pictures that she showed me, so I had to put it in somewhere. So again, we've already had Nancy up there, and you just look at the profile of that day, that she's 14,005, 64 miles of climbing worth, 90 miles over the day, unbelievable. Then we've got Tracy Lane and Steve. Tracy took part in her first ride in London, 46 miles. You know, she did it in 3 hours and rotter. Dale, you didn't QA that bit, did you? So that's supposed to be ours. Broughton, you know, he's had his injury problems, he's over there, lost a lot of weight, I didn't recognise him when he walked in. Took on 100 miles, averaged 22 mile an hour over the whole thing. You know, beasted, Box Hill and stuff like that. Said he went up there like an absolute rabbit, so absolutely fantastic. Difficult profiles for both, so well done you guys. Round of applause, please. Darren and Kirsty Dodsley, they also took part in the Ride London. Darren did the 100 miler. He did it in 5 hours, averaging 20 mile an hour, which is, again, very impressive. And then obviously the partner took part and also completed it in 8 hours. I do believe it was the 100 mile, was it the 100 mile? Yep, the 100 mile as well, in 8 hours, so well done. And then a bit of a piss take, really, on the Etap lot. Bev and Kev decided to, they'll just go out and do the bloody Hoyt route 5 days after they'd done the Marmont and stuff like that. So Kev decided to ride the whole course, and then Bev did half the course as well. You know, just decided that they were going to do that on their holiday, 5 days after the mile, like you do. So again, another unbelievable achievement. Right, so we've got some organised events that we've had throughout the club that Dale has organised. Again, I can't stress the amount of importance this gentleman does for this club. So I would just like you to now, because he deserves it more or less every night, of every hour, of every slide, just give Dale a round of applause, please. So I'm going to say this, if it wasn't for this man, our club probably would not exist. It wouldn't exist, right? This guy puts hours of preparation into everything he does. He puts the routes up for us, you know. Just a man mountain within our club. I can't praise the lad enough. He's a great friend, great person. You know, he gets people knocking at his door and he's like, who the hell are you? Oh, I've come for some kit. You know, I mean, he doesn't know who they are, but yeah, come on, get it. Can I even sell you these socks as well? And if you'd like a cap, and I've just set up a monthly scheme as well. That's his next thing. So if you want any of the Aero jerseys, they're on a monthly basis, pay-per-view kind of thing, pay-per-buy. Right, so we'll start with the Mallorca training camp. It all looks really serious there. I don't get to go because I'm stuck teaching your brats at school and stuff like that, but I'd love to go. I've been in the past, and it's an absolutely fantastic event. So if any of you's not been this year, try and get your name down for the Mallorca training camp. Many different rides. Again, Dale sorts out about 7 rides a day for people on different abilities and stuff like that. We've welcomed a few new people this year. Brent's lad's come out with us for his first time. The Inters basically sat there, or the steady group sat there having beers at top of climbs and stuff like that. Friendly atmosphere in a fantastic hotel. So if you're not down, try and get down for it this year. Alongside the Mallorca training camp, we've got the Mallorca drinking camp. I'll not name names, but you can see a familiar number of people up there that like to put themselves in the Mombasa calf. So assures me this year that, and I don't know if you know this, Dale, because it might break your heart, but sort of assures me this year that he's going to take it steady. So when he comes around to about 2 a.m. in the calf, and Dale's paying the owner about 50, 60, 70 euros on a collection to stay open longer, Sut's going to go home early. He's going to go home with Quintana and the non-drinkers, apparently. That's what he's told me. So I thought we'd have a Mallorcan Drinker of the Year award. Saxby, who looks like he's been out since about 7 in the morning. Probably is only his 5th pint. And then any of you that's actually been to the Mallorca, you will know that Sut stood like that in the morning is a common sight.
That is terrible.
The worst thing about it, anybody who rides with Sut knows that Sut can go out and probably about 15 pint and he'll get on his bike next day and he'll still beat you up the climb. Because he's a machine. Takes him a couple hours to sober up, but like we say, it's sponsored by Cause and the Mombasa CAF. So again, if you've not been on it before, please get yourself down to the Mallorca trip, because it's such a laugh. Number of people taking on the challenge of going over to Skegness, pushing themselves beyond, doing the old route over there, then a lot of them wanting to get there and actually just drink. No? You wait, mate. Alright, so. And then obviously some of the crazy people decided that they're going to cycle back as well. So another fantastic event, taken part by Steadies, Inters, main group, great numbers. I'd love to have seen on the route that day the amount of cyclists we had out going in with the jerseys on. Special mentions at Matt Bagshaw. Thank you. Ben, I think I've seen Ben. Ben, are you here? No, okay. James Saxby, Sally, Yogi, Carolyn on the attack, handing water bottles out to Dale upon first climb and stuff, and whoever. Tracy, big mention to James Simpson. I've underlined it because the amount of people that said, can we just give James a round of applause in respect how much time he gives up to other people, helping other people. Liz Saxton, Christy who sat over there, Dave Ward, and obviously Kev as well. Unbelievable, I mean, people from the Steadies and Inters that have said how much time Kev has given up. I think Karen and so will back this up in the respect of, you know, organising routes, taking them climbing out in the Peak District and stuff like that. Saturdays and Sundays to try and improve them to get them to where they achieve in the attack. So can we just give Kev another round of applause, because he gives an awful lot of time up helping other people. And then obviously you can see Saxby and Quintana at Glastonbury there, singing a few songs. I don't know what's going off there, but fantastic singing. Very passionate about the club. I'm just going to pass you on now to Dale, who's got a few words to share about with you, with a club member that we lost this year that some of you might not know, but he wants to share this with you.
Okay. Good evening. Before I talk about Andy, I just want to say thank you to some people who have helped us out tonight. Abby and Shauna at the bar, thank you very much. And thank you for the boundary for the food tonight. Done an excellent job. I think you'll agree it's all right. Thank you to Bruce for taking all the photos throughout the year and continuing this tonight. It's very much appreciated. And for Mark Wilson, also for your speech, very much appreciated. And for Jono for doing this presentation. He's done a bloody fabulous job, and I'll give you that. But there's a bit of a story to this, and I want these people to know. Because I'm not going to let the wanker that let me down get away with it. James Simpson, you arsehole. 2 weeks ago, and this is not a coincidence. 2 weeks ago, we're on a Wednesday night run. Bikes. Not a run, we're on his bikes. I drop him going up Sherland. Right? That's fucking true. 1.5 hours later, he's messaging me saying he's bailing out of this. Oh, I fucking know. That is not a coincidence. I could not message him back for 2 days. And then he comes crawling back to me with this text saying, are we still friends? For fuck's sake. Ah, bless him. He's done a great job for the last few years, and I do appreciate it. And who the hell would want to do it? Fair play. Okay, I just want to talk about Andy Brown. A lot of people here haven't met Andy Brown, some people here have met Andy Brown. Andy Brown's from Hull, and I know him through a friend of a friend. Before the club started, actually, back in 2014, we were riding them, but we weren't affiliated club. There may be 8 or 12 of us who were riding every Sunday and Wednesday. We organised a trip to Alpe d'Huez, Mont Ventoux for a week, didn't we? And I looked at stuff because I think we did do it then, didn't we? Yeah. And a friend of a friend, Graham in Hull. Some people have met Graham. Graham came and did the attack with us this year. He's done quite a few holidays with us. He brought his friend along, who was Andy Brown. Andy Brown, at that stage, back in 2014, would be 50, 51 years old. He was just retiring from the fire brigade. He'd been serving the fire brigade 25 odd years. So I'd met him a couple of times. He'd come on a few rides with us as he'd come and stayed down here. And but I didn't know him a lot. I only met him a couple of times, and he turned up in Alpe d'Huez at the same time as we were down there, and spent the week with him. Had a great time. Noticed that we've got a few things in common. He liked Peroni, I like Peroni. He liked Stella, I like Stella. Everything was going good. The following year, he also turned up at another trip that we did to Morzine in 2015. Now, this was a cycling trip, and I have to say, even now, it must rank in my top 3 holidays of my life, but I've been on a lot. Oh, yes. Fairness. But it was a bit special. We went out in June, July maybe. July, in fact, because the Tour de France was on at the time, I remember. And there's 14 of us, and we're staying in Morzine, we're staying in this chalet. It was the same chalet that Team Sky had the year before when the rest day was over in Morzine. So we've got a lovely chalet, 14, 15 of us there. Andy turns up again. And it was a cycling holiday, but for 6 of us, it almost turned into a stag do, but we didn't have a group. It was absolutely beautiful. We had such a wonderful time. And the lovely thing about Andy is that he's a carer, which I don't think I am. I wouldn't have done what he did. But he was always there for the last man. And I remember the second day, we went over the border to Switzerland. It was red hot, it was ridiculous, it was 35 degrees. It was by Lake Geneva, we had something to eat, and then we had this 10-mile climb up to a ski resort called Morzine. All I was thinking about is I've got to beat Froggy. I'm not joking. The little bastard turned up 10 stone on this holiday. He'd been shit all year. I thought, fucking hell. He beat me on the first day. Up the Japlan, didn't he? Yeah. Well, he didn't just beat me, he beat a few of us. So we're like fuming with him anyway. Well, I thought, Christ almighty, we'll get him absolutely legless the night before. And we did his best, I promise. But we start this last climb, and I'm thinking to myself, right, I'll follow Suck and I'll follow Rad, because they're going to go like shit off the shovel. And if I can hang on to their wheel for 2 or 3 miles, I might be able to get rid of Andy Brown, Froggy, Gary Gocher, Graham, any fucker to be honest. And so it gets to, Rad will remember this. Rad, oi, you'll remember this. When we was going up Morzine, because you were on the front. We lost Jake, he'd taken a wrong turn. And we're 2 or 3 miles in, and I looked behind me. Gary Gocher's dropped off back. Andy Brown's dropped off back, thinking this is going all right. Froggy's still there, the cunt. A mile or so later, though, he'd gone. And I thought, oh, we're doing all right here. Let's got rid of Froggy. Oh, I'm feeling fucking proud now, aren't I? We'll show him. And I thought, I can sit up now, let Rad and Paul and Suck and them go up the road. Dougal, he was about 2 stone lighter then. And let them go up the road. I thought, all right, it's bloody red hot though. I'm sweating like Niagara Falls. I looked behind me, bloody Gocher's catching me up, thinking, fucking hell, fire. Gocher's coming, I'll get his back wheel. Here he comes. Oh, bugger, I won't get his back wheel. I looked behind me, another mile up road, Froggy's coming, I'm thinking, oh, fucking hell, no. I thought, I've got to hang on to his back wheel, I'll do him at sprint on end. I've got this up here. I thought, I'll do him. I'll let him do all work uphill. Then I'll do him on sprint. And he comes past me, and foot straight off into him. Oh shit, I'm now really in the shit now. Then Andy Brown comes past me. I thought, oh fucking hell, this is embarrassing now. I'm dropping down to back markers. Fucking Chris Hodgkins is going to be coming in a minute. I will be in this shit. Oh, bless him. Andy comes past me and he says to me, he says, Dale, are you alright? Well, he didn't just say it like that because I'm panting like fuck on. Like this. He goes, are you alright? I says, yeah, I'm sound, you've sound. I thought, I like cool, I'll just get his back wheel. And he says to me, because this is a carer that Andy is, he says, you're not alright, youth. I'm going to just stay with you. Now, if these situations had been opposite, I'd have gone outside and fucked off. I don't lie about that. I'd have taken screw. But he honestly, he stayed next to me the whole time. And he actually said to me, he says, we're going to stop before we go to the top. I said, don't be so stupid, we're okay. But he could see that we weren't okay. We'd had about 10 pints of Peroni now before, we're in a right mess. And it made me pull over to the side of the road into the shade and have a drink, and not a drink, hydration drink. And just have 5 minutes. And that's something that I wouldn't have done maybe for somebody. I'd like to think I would, but I probably wouldn't. Certainly not if it were a froggy, I'd have fucked straight off. But the truth is, you know, he looked after me proper there and made sure I stopped, made sure I got some drink. And we rode all the way back up together, and then when we got to the top, the lads were waiting for an ice cream, and it was lovely. And I've had a lot of nice holidays with him. A lot of you will have met him. He came to Mallorca in 2017, and he came in 2018 when he brought his fiancée Amanda. And unfortunately, last February, after training on his indoor trainer in his garage, he just shortly after that he collapsed and had a heart attack, which is tragic. And he was only 55 years of age, and he left his oldest son, Sam, who was 19. Tom was only just 16, and it's very sad. We all miss him so much. I know Steve, Suck, Froggy's not here. It's awful, but yeah, I just wanted to just bring everybody's attention to that tonight. So that's really good.
So Dale assures me he's no public speaker. Dale, you've not finished yet, mate. I told you to carry on.
I did my thank you before.
Okay, but I think you're still here. Come on. You're going on, here you. That's why I said carry on.
There's some people in the club who are just really great people, who I don't always see a lot of because they're in different groups. But I know from people that have told me that they're nice people, they're very helpful. They go back and make sure people are okay, help them with punctures, help them going up climbs, and put a lot of effort into making things good. And we bought them something just to say thank you. And that, first of all, could I just invite Mark Wilson and Sandra Wilson to come up to collect these, please. We've mentioned Kev already, haven't we? Because he goes up and down the mountains, sick everybody up. And unfortunately, he's fell off his bike today. I've only just found out this evening, so he's not been able to come. But Kev and Bev Dawes, I've got the same gifts for them. I'm hoping that Wayne might be able to drop them off the son-in-law.
The SNCC 2019 Triathlete of the Year. A very, as you've seen already, a very distinguished amount of people that have done this, gone above and beyond in their respective triathlons this year. The voting went out, and it was very close yet again, but we've chosen a top three. Sally, Hughes completes a half marathon, Ironman challenge in the Gran Canaria, Staffordshire 70 mile, Ironman, 4th finish in the age group, also Ironman Wales and stuff like that. Finished 10th in her age group in 13 hours. James Simpson, all I can say is triple brutal. Downward Outlaw, finished 49th, fastest bike split, again a 3rd, and completing an Ironman in 11 hours and a 4th position, another one. So I'd like to present the Triathlete of the Year. I'm just going to get him up here very quickly just to tell us a little bit about that, and that is James Simpson. So while the award's been given, James did a triathlon that was 55 hours long. 55 hours long. He swam 7.2 miles, which is like swimming the length of the Annecy Great Lake. He cycled 339 miles after swimming 7 miles, which I kind of worked out is from the boundary to Aberdeen with a Mont Ventoux in the middle. And then after that, he decided I'm going to run 78 miles, which was basically running from the boundary to York with a mountain along the way. I can't express the words that this man went through or what he's accomplished now. He even starts going on about it. So I've asked him to just come up and just give a quick few words about what it entails and how he felt in it and how he bloody achieved it, to be honest.
I thought I'd gotten out of this. Right, okay, so basically it's a really long triathlon, which is really boring, and it's not really as impressive as it sounds, because it's really just about keeping going for a really long time, really slowly. So, for instance, something I'm really...
Well, what possessed you to do it?
Okay, well, basically it's been 4 years to do... It's been 4 years to do that, so I saw it on TV and thought, well, I'd really like to have a go at that. So I started by doing the iron distance, and then I did the double iron distance, and then eventually the triple iron distance. So you don't just get up one morning and decide to go and race for 55 hours. It sort of took me a while to build up. But I mean, the most important thing for the club, I think, is that when you're doing something that lasts 55 hours, you really can't do it on your own. And it really is just down to the support crew to basically wipe your bottom and keep you going, is the truth. And obviously, in our club, Matt and Shell, Yogi, Sally, Dan, I mean, the amount of people that have supported me, Bennins, the amount of people that in all of the events have supported me, James Saxby, who's not here, probably practicing his swimming, and then of course, most importantly of all, Kate, because, thank you, Caroline. Obviously, I put in a lot of time training, and so Kate has to put up with that, and she's basically decided if you can't beat them, join them, so she does plenty of training now as well. So basically, it's down to everybody who helped me, and all of the group rides, coming back to pick me up when I get dropped off the back of the group to keep me going and keep the mileage up, so thank you very much. And John, you're doing a brilliant job.
Well done, James. I know there's been a lot of amazing performances and stuff like that, but when you see those statistics that you can do in 55 hours, I mean, bloody hell. Can't run a mile, never mind run to bloody York. Right, move on to the next award. Most Improved Rider. We've got 3 nominees for this, and I'm glad to say that I know all 3 of them really well. James Saxby was highly nominated. James has done a number of events this year, not only in cycling. He's started doing his triathlon aspects. He's been training a lot with James. He couldn't swim 200 yards to start with, so I'm told, and now he's a proficient swimmer, all in within a year. Again, he's another lad that comes out on the club rides. He'll do his graft. He'll put his effort in every now and again. He obviously took part in his first triathlon, did a 70-mile triathlon aspect and finished it sub 5 hours, which is incredible. And then he went on race for the club. And, you know, in a Fourth category, he finished 5th, 2nd, 4th and 4th, so I think that deserves another round of applause. Kate's back again in the respect of, what do I say, she's hill climbing against people, she's doing her attack, she's training hard, she's doing triathlons, she's engaging in sportives around, you know, Derbyshire and stuff like that. This girl's had an immense year, and I can only think that if she carries on how she's gone on this year, God knows what she's going to achieve next year. Let me come on to my secret training partner. Tom is focused on beating you on everything that he does this year, so just be aware. But again, Lee is somebody that's come up from the intermediates when he first joined the club. I've known him from the gym in the past, and then all of a sudden he's on a club ride. I thought he's not going to last long, but he did all right. He did all right, bless him. But he's coming to the main group, and only today I said to him that he's climbed really well and he's rode really well and he's kept up with the main group all day. And that just shows you, you know, if you step into the main group and you ride with the main group, or if you step up from the steadies into the inters, you will improve. You know, we've all done it, we've all improved. I mean, Matt's a perfect example in the respect of where Matt's come from, and then has gone on to win the Rider of the Year. So like, if you push yourself, you will do it, and Lee is doing that in an abundance at the moment. Okay, he's gone, yeah, let's have a round of applause, please. First time I remember coming out of Fast Friday, I think he dropped before we got to Ripley. And now he's all the way around with us, and he's improving on his last climb up into Ripley every ride. So, you know, the proof is in the pudding. So anyway, I think there's only one winner for this, and she won it by a country mile. I don't think it was worth putting the voting out there, to be honest. So, our most improved rider of the year, deservedly so, is Kate Simpson. Absolutely. While she's getting her award, Kate has, again, moved into the main group at some point since she started her ride off with us and tried to, you know, possess what she's trying to do and improve. And every time you look at Kate's rides now, trophy after trophy after trophy after trophy. You know, unbelievable. Right, enough of me. We'll come on to the last bit. The bit that everybody's waiting for. The SNCC 2019 Rider of the Year. Before I pull up the nominations, Dale expressed this to you like I would. I think it's been the closest year we've ever had. So Dale's texting me every 2 minutes like, oh, so-and-so's took it, so-and-so's took it. If so-and-so gets another one, they've got it. I think winning vote, 2? Dale? Winning vote? 1. 1 vote had it out of the whole club that nominated. The top 3 that's come through. Sorry, Tom, you're not on there.
Why not?
Kate Simpson. Again, we've gone through enough things today with Kate. She's been on every slide, like I say. So there's not much more I can say about Kate. This is unbelievable. Brent. I can't express how much admiration I've got for this lad. You know, over 50 years old, rides as though he's 20. So Brent this year is taking part in God knows how many events. Hoyru, he's become a seasoned pro on there now. He's, you know, 7-day tours, 3-day tours, getting his face known around there now. Everybody knows Brent, everyone knows the jersey. A few things to just say that, you know, he finished first in the Cheshire Cat Sportive. I couldn't find anyone who beat him, so he must have been first. And then our next one is Porkington Waterhouse. Where is he? There he is. And many of you know why we call him Quintana, because he's an unbelievable climber, and he's shown that a number of times. And I like this nomination in the respect of this is a lad who's out there working his arse off every ride, just like the others. But, you know, silent assassin, gets on the front, you see him come by, and then he puts down the bloody watts, and you think, oh God, here we go again. So it's great to see that he's got a nomination. He's a strong all-rounder, chain gang, hill climbing, on the flats. He's unbelievable. So, the 2019 Rider of the Year, who won it by one vote, is Brent Holmes. Why Brent's getting his award? He finished the attack 192nd out of 16,000. He completed the Hoyt Route Alps, which is a 7-day tour, 35th out of 400. And I believe he was very high in his age group, probably second or third. He then did the Hoyt Route Dolomites, 20th out of 400. Won the Cheshire Cat Sportive along with a few others. He's rode over 11,000 miles, 650,000 freight over sent. So that concludes our evening. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'd just like to say before we depart, I think Dale again needs a massive, for organising everything tonight. The bar, the event, the jerseys, the band, the venue, trophies. He's even got a trophies in from Japan or something like that for tonight. So again, you know, I just can't emphasise how much value this man is to our club. Okay, so we'll just maybe have a last word from him, and then enjoy your night. Thank you.
Thank you, Devon. You did a good job. Can we put you again for next year? That's a yes, I'll take it, thank you. No, thank you for everybody for turning up tonight. When you organise these events, you can't help but take it personal when somebody like sends you a text the day before and says, oh, I'm not coming. You know, fucking hell. No one's going to turn up. But I'm so pleased. Because all I'm thinking about when I turn up tonight is, fucking hell, I hope there's somebody, the band's not going to have anybody to play to. I mean, me and Suck will be alright, we've got Estrella, we don't give a monkeys. But I genuinely am like panicking, thinking, oh God, nobody's going to turn up. Next year I'm going to get a smaller venue, but it is nice to look round and see so many familiar faces. It's very much appreciated, thank you very much. The band have been waiting ages, so we're going to get them on now. So let me get off here and let's enjoy the band. Thank you.
Fart Gallery Films.